Are you filming me?
Yes, I am.
Hello. It's 7:30. Please excuse all this. I've been up all night. Okay, that's it.
My son-in-law called me and texted me and said he'd come get the kids because he shot April, our daughter.
Okay, are the police on the line?
Yes.
Okay, sir, are you at that location?
No, we're on the 405 headed there now from Long Beach.
Oh, okay, so you're quite a ways out.
Yeah, we're a ways out yet.
Okay, well, we've got police and paramedics on the way, okay?
Okay.
All right.
Sir, I'm going to stay on the phone with you, okay?
Okay, Godspeed, please.
His wife, Michael Jace, is best known for his role as a police officer in the series The Shield. An Eyewitness News reporter Leo Starr is live in Hyde Park with that investigation, plus a look at allegations of domestic abuse in the actor's past. Leo?
Well, police say the 911 call came from the actor's cell phone following the shooting here at his home.
I didn't commit first-degree murder. There was no premeditated anything. I don't.
On May 19th, 2014, April Jace walked into her Los Angeles home unaware that she would never walk out again. She was a mother of two, a former track athlete, a woman who had made the decision to end her marriage and start a new chapter of her life. But that decision would cost her everything. Inside that home, her husband, actor Michael Jace, was waiting. The man known to television audiences for playing a law enforcement officer was about to commit an act that would leave his family shattered and his own life permanently altered. What followed wasn't the result of a struggle with a stranger or a sudden break-in. It was a shooting carried out inside the family home, with their two young sons present. 3 gunshots were fired. A 911 call would soon follow, and within moments, a marriage that had been falling apart would end in irreversible loss. This case is not about celebrity status or Hollywood success. It's about jealousy, control, and what can happen when one person refuses to accept the end of a relationship. As you watch, ask yourself this: how does a marriage reach a point where one decision becomes fatal? And before we continue, let us know in the comments where you're watching from.
An Eyewitness News reporter Leo Starr is live in Hyde Park with that investigation, plus a look at allegations of domestic abuse in the actor's past. Leo?
Well, police say the 911 call came from the actor's cell phone following the shooting here at his home. 51-year-old actor Michael Jace, best known for playing a police officer on The Shield, was placed in handcuffs soon after his wife was killed last night in the couple's Hyde Park home.
What I'm told now is April had come home with both boys from baseball practice, and it doesn't appear that they were home for more than 10-15 minutes when the shooting occurred. It's still unclear if there's any type of dispute or argument leading up to the shooting.
I didn't hear the gunshots. A couple of neighbors heard them. I seen the police escorting the kids down the street, and that's when I believed something was very serious. So I stepped outside and
heard like a pow sound. I said, what is that?
Next door neighbor Shirley Harding says that pow was the first sound she heard, and when it was followed by more of the same, she knew something terrible was happening.
And I heard a pow pow. After that, 3 shots. I said, that's gunfire.
Neighbor Brandon Cook says Jace, his wife, and 2 young sons appeared to be a happy family. Now this.
I was shocked. I was totally shocked.
Along with TV roles, Jace appeared in feature films including Forrest Gump and Planet of the Apes. Police say the boys were not hurt and are with their grandparents.
Jace appeared in court for his formal arraignment this morning. Jace entered a plea of not guilty to charges he murdered his wife. Eyewitness News reporter John Gregory joins us now live from the downtown LA courthouse. John.
Well, Philip, a lot of courtroom housework undertaken in today's hearing. Michael Jace did enter a formal plea of not guilty, and for now at least, he's going to remain in custody. He can't make bail. Appearing in an orange jail jumpsuit, Michael Jace sat quietly as attorneys discussed the charges against him. The 51-year-old actor is accused of murdering his wife April in the couple's Hyde Park home back in May. Jace is pleading not guilty.
At this point in time, the prosecution has turned over some discovery. They have not turned over everything. We're still waiting on a couple things. And the date that we picked is kind of like just a follow-up to check up on the case, to see where it's at, the status of the discovery, status of any motions, anything like that.
Of an iPhone that belonged to the murdered wife of Shield actor Michael Jace. Eyewitness News has obtained court documents about her phone, and we are also hearing from Jace's attorney about the charges the actor is facing. Eyewitness News reporter Miriam Hernandez has more now at 5.
From the couple's Hyde Park home, actor Michael Jace called 911 to report a deadly shooting, telling the dispatcher he had killed his wife, April.
It's not a whodunit case. We're not saying that it was somebody else that came in the house.
What his defense team believes is that information on April Jace's phone may explain more about an argument that preceded the shooting, showing a lower level of culpability. Instead of murder one, perhaps manslaughter. What is revealed in court papers is that April Jace had an iPhone 5S. It is similar to the one used by the San Bernardino shooter, which ultimately was opened by an independent expert after Apple refused to help. A search warrant shows that Apple did help LAPD open April Jace's phone last year. It is not known from documents what level of assistance was needed. What concerns the Jace defense team is what happened after data was extracted. When LAPD checked the phone this year, the iPhone did not turn on. Jace's trial has been delayed as LAPD and the defense team have hired independent experts not only to re-enter the phone, but to pull out more data.
What I will tell you is we have concerns about chain of custody. We have concerns about the moment that the phone was seized to today.
How hard can it be to extract data from a smartphone?
A whole issue of collection of information from smartphones is rather complex. On the 10th try, the phone would be then deleted, the contents of the phone.
As for Jace's case, data has now been retrieved. A defense expert will try to determine whether anything was lost in the process before the trial starts May 23rd.
Prosecutors insist Michael Jace knew what he was doing.
Each time he thought and he said yes. Again, yes.
When he shot his wife in the couple's home while their 2 young sons were in another room. The 53-year-old angry she wanted a divorce.
He snapped. Bam, bam. Because in that moment, he saw her running away.
His defense attorney says Jace, who had been drinking, was upset and simply snapped.
What's in his mind?
The defense says Jace had been trying to save his marriage.
That's a sign of losing control. That's a sign of being out of your mind.
The prosecution says Jace was deliberate in his actions, even luring her to the home, but telling her he was not there.
Knowing the consequences and then decided to kill.
Prosecutors point to the couple's eldest son's testimony, what he heard his dad tell his mother, an avid runner.
You like to run, why don't you run to heaven?
The defense again points to Jace's emotional distress.
I wanted a wife who had committed her life to God, but that's not what I got. Time shall leave by. Is he talking about murder?
An intent to kill, first-degree murder.
We, the jury, in the above entitled action, find the defendant, Michael Andrew Jace, guilty of the crime of murder of April Jace.
It took the jury of 6 men and 6 women just about 2 hours to reach a verdict, finding the 53-year-old former actor of The Shield guilty of second-degree murder in the 2014 fatal shooting of his wife, April. It happened in their Hyde Park home with their 2 young sons in the house. Jurors also found true that Jace personally and intentionally used a firearm, a special allegation that could add 25 years to life to his sentence.
It was definitely a murder, and the right outcome happened.
In closing arguments Friday, prosecutor Tanaz Makayev told jurors Jace was obsessed with his wife, who was trying to leave him amid allegations she had been unfaithful. While Makayev argued Jace had planned the murder, the defense countered it was not premeditated, that Jace was trying to save his marriage, but in that confrontation, he snapped.
It's really hard to come up with words for it when you've done what you've done and have to deal with the consequences, but he understands second degree, and his big thing was it wasn't premeditated.
The verdict comes just days after critical testimony by Jace's 10-year-old son, who recounted hearing his father tell his mother, "If you like running, run to heaven," before shooting her in the leg.
Each time I have to see his face, even if it's from behind, it's really depressing.
In court today, April Jace's 20-year-old son from her first marriage telling us he's happy with the second-degree murder verdict.
I'm still trying to comprehend myself. I'd just like to see the sadness on his face, that he realized it, because it seems like every now and then there's moments of sadness and moments of not. And those moments of not really get me questioning, you know? Like, how can you go that far? How can you say those words? How can you do that?
Do you think there's been justice here?
Almost. She was really happy. All the time. As much as she could be. And no matter what, even if something was sad that was going on, she'd do her best to be happy. And That's what I feel like she's doing now, if there is an afterlife.
By the time first responders arrived at the Jace home that night, April Jace had already been shot multiple times. Michael Jace did not flee the scene. Instead, he called 911 and told the operator plainly that he had shot his wife. Later, he would claim that he never intended to kill her, that his goal was to injure her legs. But prosecutors argued that the sequence of events told a much different story. They presented evidence showing that Michael Jace waited for April to return home. They focused on where she was shot, what was said to her before additional shots were fired, and the fact that their children were inside the house during the entire incident. One of the most painful moments during the trial came when the jury heard testimony about what one of the children witnessed that night. Words and images no child should ever have to carry into adulthood. The defense highlighted remorse. They argued that Michael Jace acted out of emotional distress, fueled by fears of divorce and suspicions of infidelity. But the jury was unconvinced. After a brief deliberation, Michael Jace was found guilty of second-degree murder, with an added firearm enhancement. In 2016, he was sentenced to 40 years in prison. A television career ended not with applause, but with a prison sentence. Yet, even that sentence could not measure the full cost of what happened. April Jace lost her life. 2 children lost their mother. A family lost the future they once imagined. This case serves as a painful reminder that the most dangerous moment in a troubled relationship can be when one person decides to leave. When control is threatened, violence can follow, not because of love, but because of possession. April Jace wanted a different life. She wanted change. What she encountered instead was final and unforgiving. Years later, the headlines have faded, but the impact remains. 2 boys continue growing up with the memory of that night. A family continues living with an absence that can never be filled. Cases like this force difficult questions about warning signs, about accountability, and about how society responds when relationships turn deadly behind closed doors. What do you believe could have been done differently in this case? And what signs do you think are still too often dismissed until it's too late?